go over how to edit and create contact statuses. So contact statuses define where your contact is in their buying journey. Now you'll find whenever you add a person, you're always going to be required to select a contact, okay, a contact status. So you'll see this right here. You can also edit the contact at any given point by going to the profile and click on edit, and then changing the status here, okay? Now, in order to customize this list, you're gonna wanna go to settings, and then click on contact statuses, okay? Here you have the opportunity to delete existing statuses, okay? Or add new ones by clicking on add new. So, or you can also rename our existing ones. So by default, you will always get lead, unqualified, other, and customer. So those are the default ones that come with the system. Now you can definitely rename these as you like. As you get new leads into the system, by default, they will always be added as leads, or as you get a new contact. So keep that in mind. All your form submissions, everything will be the lead. Now you can rename that, okay? We definitely recommend creating your own and classifying all your contacts as best as possible. In a lot of scenarios, we might see lead and then qualified lead, or we might want to use cold lead and warm lead, customer, past customer. If you get a lot of phone calls, text messages from vendors, you can also add a status for vendor. If you're, for example, in mortgage, right, where you deal with agents and you also deal with buyers, you can, or in real estate where you're with buyers and sellers, you can also name those accordingly. The better you define them, the easier it's going to be to launch campaigns, and also just keep track of your contact list and make the most use out of your CRM. Now, when we talked about deals, we talked about how, if you don't speak to a customer in a certain amount of time, that deal's automatically going to rot, or it's going to automatically alert you that, hey, you haven't spoken to this person. Frequency allows you to basically tweak how often you want this to happen, so each contact has a relationship strength, which basically says, hey, this relationship is dying, right? You haven't followed up. We're losing touch with this person. So based on what you require that relationship strength to be in your organization, you're going to want to dial in this frequency. So if my leads, I need to make sure my sales team is talking to them every 2 weeks, I will put 2 weeks for that. If my qualified leads, I need my sales team to be talking every week, then I would put every week. So the relationship strength will dilute to the point where it's in the red if you haven't spoken to your qualified lead within a week. A customer, perhaps I don't need to talk to them as much, so it might be every 45 days, it might be every quarter, right? And then, for past customers and qualified leads, vendors, things like that, you may not necessarily need anything. So you can just leave that empty if you wish, okay? So let's go ahead and add a new one, and I'm going to call this cold leads, right? So these are leads that I'm adding because I'm going to go ahead and call them, and I really don't care when I talk to them, right? We just need to talk to them once, and then hopefully I can turn them into warm leads, and then from there on into qualified leads, right? So if you want to have that level of detail, you can, or you can just call everything lead, right? So it's completely up to you. Let's go ahead and click save. Now, whenever we go back to our contact list, you will now see that status is now available for you to add. Okay, so now you can kind of see warm lead, qualified, cold leads, right? So perhaps I'm adding some cold leads that I'm going to be doing some cold emailing. So I can actually create a segment here by clicking add filter, contact status set to cold leads, right? So very easy way to access them, and you want to save that as cold leads. So you want to make your list. So typically it's pretty, you'll see this, you'll have everybody mixed in here, but you can go ahead and customize your list. So these are all my warm leads. These are all my cold leads. If I want to make a list of all my customers, I can also do that. Status set to customer. So let's go ahead and save customers. And so on. Now you can also use automations. So let's say, I have contacts whose deal stage is set to close. So if you close a contact, or you want that contact, you can also set up an automation to automatically update the status to customer, right? So it moves from lead to customer. So those are just a couple of things you can do with contact statuses, but extremely important. So you can organize your list, you can launch your campaigns based on where they're at, right? You're not going to want to be contacting customers, asking them if they're interested in buying their product when they already did. You may want to be contacting them to ask them to request a review, leave you a review, or asking them how their service is going and stuff like that. So it's very important you keep this list organized and these statuses set. That way, whenever you launch automations and you're trying to follow up every 3 months automatically with your leads and saying, hey, how's everything going? You're not contacting customers and vice versa, right? So there's a lot of usefulness you can get once you have those statuses and you're managing them properly. As I mentioned, there's a lot of opportunities and automations to also automate that process. So it does it for you. Okay. Well, if you have any questions, please let us know. Thank you.